Hi, welcome back to Coding Casually. My name is Lakshay, and today's topic is how you can start using Power BI as a business intelligence tool for yourself or for the organization that you're working with. This is going to be a beginner's guide, and this is going to be the part one of Power BI. We would be going through all the elements which exist. I never wanted to create a crash course type of stuff. We would want really to go step by step when it comes to learning Power BI, and I hope that you are able to see my screen. This is the website from where you can download Power BI. So you would not need to pay anything for Power BI Desktop. There are two versions of it. I would really want you to download Power BI Desktop first, and then you don't have, as I said, that you don't have to pay anything. And the moment you are on Power BI Desktop, you will be able to do the 80% job there, and the rest lies in the Power BI service. So as I said to you that just because this is the Power BI beginner one, this is going to be Power BI beginner's guide, we would not worry about the Power BI service. Else, what would we would be working on? We would be working on how you can create your own dashboards, how you can get started if you wish to learn what exactly you can do, or even how to navigate. This is going to be that part. This is going to be the part one of it. So the moment you have downloaded Power BI from the website which is stated here, I would also put a link in the description from where you can download the Power BI desktop app. The moment that is done, you have installed it, you can press the window button on your system, right? Power BI desktop, and you will see that option on your system. And the moment you'll press it, you'll see that this is how the Power BI would look like. There'll be another page which would come, it would be in yellow. You would not need to worry about it. You can cancel that out, and you would land on this page. So this page, friends, what you can do is you can import an Excel file. As it says that it is not necessary that you import data from Excel or the SQL server. Just ignore this part which is written. Basically, this is a canvas that you can work with, right? This is the navigation menu, and this is basically we would be working most of the time with this part, and I'll show you what you can do. So this, as I said, that this is going to be the first part. It's better we do something so that I can get that engagement from your end, and I can intrigue you with what Power BI desktop has to offer. Right? You don't have to worry about this right now. What you need to worry about here is that you can press get data, and you'll see the data sources which are commonly used. If you have another data source like a JSON one or a SharePoint site that you wish to pull the data out from, you can press more, and you will be able to see the other options, like, as I said, SharePoint site, text, PDF, Parquet. There's so many of them, right? And there's a huge list. If you are unable to find your source and by looking at it, you can also write here and you'll be able to find it. But there's no point right now because as it's a beginner one, we would focus on Excel right now, right? We will choose Excel file and then press connect, right? It will ask you for the file that you wish to connect with. I need to find that data, that if I have that data with me. Let's go into downloads. I have the data with me. Let me find that data. And or in order to, for the data purpose, even what I wanted to tell you is that if you don't have any data with you, what you can do is you can simply go onto internet and ask for a data set, a data set for Power BI, and you'll be able to find most of them. And if you have ID on kaggle.com, that is where you can simply get a data set and you can start working. So for this one, what we can do is we can press sign in and then sign in with your email ID. You can write your email ID here. If you don't have an ID, you can create one and then log in. The moment you are logged in, what you can do here is you can go on to data sets and then press any kind of data that you wish to work with. So basically this is too much, probably would overwhelm you. So try to choose data visualization and let's go with something that we can easily prepare our data visualization on. So this is a Netflix data. It's a 2 MB one. We can use this one, and then have this downloaded. So it says download. You press the download button. It'll give you a zip file. There'll be a data file. So it's gates and titles. Let's see what's there in title. Extract to. We'll extract it to desktop. We'll close it down. We'll go on to get data, and see, we don't see it just because it was a CSV file. So instead of Excel, you need to press text or CSV. You'll see titles, and you pull it out. So this is how you connect to a data source. So basically a text file or CSV file, any file that you have. Data source is something that you know where the digital information resides. So for us right now it's a CSV file. At the moment you'll press this one, the one that I've said, which is connection, it will try to load that data in and will give you such thing, which, okay. So this is the name of the file that we have. You can either press load, you can either press transform data. The moment you press transform data, you will be given the option to make changes to data types, or if there is any filter that you already want to have as a default one, is if there is any column that you wish to add, and everything. That is something that transform data can give you the option of. There's too many options in transform data, but just for the beginners one I'm talking about. Through this you can edit, through this you can simply load, right? We would go on to transform data as well in a different video altogether, but for the time being, or for the purpose of this one, we will simply load, and we'll see what the data looks like, right? So in order to see where the data is, if you want to just check the columns, you can simply press this one and you'll be given the columns which are there. But if you want to have a preview on the data, you can press this one, which is basically the table view, right? And the moment you'll do this, you will be given how the columns look like when it comes to data. Right, so this is the year, this is the description. So probably you would not, if you don't know, I'll just give you a 1 minute description on the same. So this is text, this is so just because there is no point in it, so this is integer. This is also integer. This would also be text. You can convert integer into text for sure. There is no doubt about it. You can separate them apart. That's a different part altogether, but I'm just letting you know that this will be a floating point or a decimal type. Right, so this is how you load data in Power BI, and pressing this will take you to the visualization panel where you would start creating your visualizations. If you would press this, you would go on to data model view. Just right now we have only one data source, so you would not need it. But when you would have multiple data sources, through this window we will be creating relationships and connections between the different data sources. So for the sake of this one, we will come back to visualization port, which is the report one. We can choose, so these are the native visualizations which Power BI provides to you. You can add more visuals if you have a Power BI Pro service, or if you have a Power BI Pro license with you, by just signing in, pressing this one, and then you pressing this one. After signing in, you'll be exposed to a place where there are multiple visualizations at your disposal. You can have them as an add-in, but these are the natives which Power BI supports. So by looking at the data, you can simply see that there are titles, and there are descriptions, and there are release years, and there are age certifications. So by simply looking at, we can create different visualizations by saying that what is the total percentage of R-rated movies. So if you would go into this, we're going to go back to this. So age certification is something that we can look for. We can simply drop here, and we can simply drop here. So you will see that there is a data visualization at your disposal. So of course there are many things. Right now it is giving you a count if it would have been just because the movie, uh, this one belongs to R and everything. And so if you want to do it on comedy and action, there are many rows where action and thriller and sci-fi are concatenated in one, so you have to differentiate the same so that R into 3 can be done. But that is not a point where we would be discussing this. So this is how you create a visualization. This is basically a pie chart. Um, in order to change how the visualization will look like, there are too many things that you can do with it. Just because this is a pie chart, uh, You can create, so you can have filters here as well if you want to do it for a year basis. So suppose if we add a slicer, oh sorry, add a slicer here and have year attached to it. What was the name of that? So release year is the one. So if we go into this one and give it a release here, so we can see that the data visualization will have an impact. See, you can have that those changes. This is how you can create visualizations in Power BI. We are not trying to create a dashboard. No, that is not the intent here. However, just giving the flavor to you as a beginner how you can utilize the same. Right, this is a difficult data set. There is no doubt about it. You have to do too many transformations of the same. However, while you are on the data table, if you want to know what kind of values that are expected, so I want to check whether it's just movies or there is another type of the same as well, like documentary or stuff. So you can press type and check. So there's a movie and show. So distinct values tend to show in the filter. Like you would be able to see the around 200 first 200 rows. You can simply see you would not be exposed to. So this is a very short data, so you are able to see it. I don't know what's exactly the preview number, but this is a very short one. So if you are exposed to something which has 90,000 or 80,000 rows, or probably 2 lakh rows, or probably 15 lakh rows, so you would not be given preview to all those. Just 5% or something like that. I don't remember that exact number, but that is irrelevant to be honest. You can have that view by clicking on the filters or pressing any of the filters here if you want to check how many distinct values are there. Again, it would not be just because this is a short one, so you might see everything, but the more the data you would have, the scroll will not be that smooth. Okay, right. All right, so but we can also, as I was telling you, that just because this is a beginner one, that I would not be adding any columns, but you can always add a new column and have some of the formulas work for you, and then create your own calculated columns. You can create your own what we call this calculated tables as well. You can sort the data if you wish to by simply pressing this one. So right now it seems very easy, honestly. By I you can simply go into sort and everything will be sorted out. But when it comes to visualization, and the visualization should work on the command of the user who is using it, so that becomes quite tricky. I would not give you a false expectation that Power BI is quite easy to use or understand. For the initial stage, you might be intrigued with all these visualizations which are coming up. However, when you would tend to solve complex problems, then you would find that yes, there is too much to this, right? So we'll be going on our course. I want to tell you about insert. New visual will give you this option only, and you can have. So this is something which is not for the beginners. Rather, this is also not for beginners. This is something that you can utilize. You can create shapes if you wish to. You can add text if you wish to. So that is all something that you can easily do. For visualization, suppose if you don't want this to be there, you can change it by going on to here, and then it'll be going off. And this also can be used. You can also remove the title if you wish to, or rather give your own title to the same. So what I meant here is that if you would go on to this uh, by going into this one and clicking on general, have title open. If you would come back to this, this says count of, because this here it says count of age certificates. You can rename the same for the visual as well. Just like you can say age segmentation, and the moment will say, and will change. So there are too many things that you need to understand for per visualization which are native to Power BI, and this is how you start working with Power BI. So I would request you to import more and more data, try to fiddle around, try to play with these visuals, and slowly and gradually you'll get to know not every visual would work with the data type that you have, and that is the intent of this video, that so that you get started. I gave you the flavor how the visualization would look like. I know this is very basic, you would not be intrigued at all by looking at other dashboards of Power BI that you must have seen from your friends or from your office colleagues, but this is just a beginner part one. I will create a beginner part two where we would try to create a dashboard, and then we will slowly gradually move to intermediate and the expert level of the same. If you think I should have included more in the part one of the beginners, please comment below, like the video, share the video for people who are starting using Power BI, and subscribe to the channel. It really help us. Thank you.